Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a really crazy match for you guys today. I'm playing on the same team as HanDHun, and we're playing against the Lieutenant General Tortique, as well as Carl Gustav M2 Enjoyer, and Tortique in particular is just a terrifying opponent. But Carl Gustav M2 is no slouch at all, so I'm playing as Scandinavia, and my ally HanDHun here is playing, oh, does that look like that's French? This is German, so that's going to be Eurocorps. Going up into Golf, and he was Captain Delta. I'm moving up into Charlie. Kind of makes sense, really. You keep your CV sort of next to the zone that you're playing in. That makes it a little easier to keep track. And I have one quasi super heavy. It is the, of course, Swedish STRV 121. Not a true super heavy, I guess. Looking at those stats, the armor is a little light, actually very light. And we do see a plane right off the bat from Tortique, and that Bis Lazar is going to tell us he's fighting over in Golf. And I'm going to be fighting against mostly Carl Gustav M2, particularly at the start of the match. So I didn't have enough anti-air and kind of feel it a little bit with the M1 sneaking forward and seeing most of my opener. But I do have NASAMs, and I do have all of this stuff moving up, smoking along this section of river here. I tend to find this is really important because oftentimes the Red 4 player will go into Bravo and get ATGMs online, and I did not want that hitting the relatively fragile side armor of the 121. 9 side is not exactly impressive. We do also have some motorized units going into Fox, and I have a big detachment going around, so this is something I've been trying to learn how to do. It's, I don't know, it's one of the reasons a lot of people consider the Red 4 side of this map to be a little bit weak, but it's also, it's kind of like sending a detachment really far away. They're going to be sort of on their own, so they have to be self-sufficient. And if they can do really well, then it's great, and it sort of locks down the side completely. But if they don't, if it's countered well, then it's going to be very hard to help them. So everything going here has the possibility of just outright dying. So I'm sending NM45s. These guys, I think for 15 points, perform very well. They're a little fragile, but that's I mean, it's the price of something that cheap, I suppose. Now, Chasseur fighting with Motschutzen here from Tortique, that will go to the Motschutzen, even though they are in the open, just because 2 squads versus 1, and there was IFV support shooting in as well, so the Chasseur are going to be stunned. And I don't know, I was actually meaning to ask Han about this at some point. I am not a huge fan of base Chasseur, and I think it'd be interesting to see sort of why he uses them. A lot of people use things, and well, I guess you can always learn something with that question. Whether or not you decide to incorporate it for yourself. Mirage F1CT does get taken down, and we ping the artillery position. Also, it looks like, I think there was anti-air here. I'm not entirely sure what that unit is at the moment. Yeah, yep, because there goes my helicopter. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. But we do have an engagement going in against Carl Gustav Enjoyer. I think he was mostly expecting me to push into Bravo. So pretty much all of his opener, if we take a look at neutral, yeah, Legion 90, WZs, all of this stuff over in Bravo, and it does catch me by surprise, so Legion 90 will sort of open up these 5-point boxes here. But I have a lot of Dragoner, they're very capable infantry, and they will pound for pound do decently well when supported by the 5-point boxes. Well, they'll perform okay against Legion 90. So, STRV 121 getting a couple cheeky shots, a nice little engagement there, and then back into the woods, trying not to present a persistent target, and I was just getting around here, so 186 NOs moving forward, and I'm trying to lock this down with anti-helicopter from the NMs and ATGM, so I have RBS 56 right here as well, that are going to try and project a little bit of force over into this side of the map. In the meantime, I mean, HanDHun's been going just slugfest with Tortique pretty much the whole time. Double Moderna there in those woods is going to be very, very scary indeed, especially as time goes on, if they survive. Now, we do get, unfortunately, kind of taken out here, NM106 giving some fire support, but I'm not entirely sure what happened there, honestly. I think it was just too much. But yeah, really nice contact with that last shell. Yeah, that one too. I mean, this is something you'll see very often in forest fights. Hold them and hit them. So cheaper infantry does the hold, and then mortars do the hit. So 121 sneaking up, we're engaging with the Chanma Ho 5. Should be a pretty clean win for the STRV, but 19 AP power versus 19 armor, that's only going to do 1 damage per shot. 23 AP versus 16 armor is going to do quite a bit more than that. So this next hit, there it is, there's the kill. And the 63-2 45-point tank will get a nice wallop off at close range. But I was hoping to just get a cheeky shot first. Unfortunately, what happened there is I shot the ZSD. So my guy is reloading, his is not, he's forcing him forward. He does get the first shot down to 1 strength. That's going to be a pullback. But we intercepted a lot of reinforcements here, just killing them on the road. These were carriers of really expensive Legion 90. and that is, well, it has the potential to sort of drain our opponent's resources just a bit. So, relatively forward position here, but not really that sustainable. My STRV needs to be healed up. M41A1 is just providing that little bit of base defense and sort of recon just along the whole section of Charlie. And then I was really impressed. Usually when this fight goes poorly, or is hotly contested, it's hard to keep this section of woods, at least from what I've experienced. And Han is still in there. He's still going at it. Unfortunate engagement here with the Martyr 2 against double LSTR. Yeah, he'll damage them. But the LSTR have really nice anti-tank secondaries, so that's going to be a losing fight. And those Martyr 2s are very expensive as well. So nice infiltration there from Red. We did see it. We do know it's coming now. And my XI-186 made it all the way through, just, you know, moving up into the woods, being a little sneaky bugger, trying to see. And, yeah, there's something back here that's recon that is going to take him out. Probably infantry in this section of town, is what I would guess. But, who knows. So, my tank is pulled back. We're sort of just kind of regrouping at this point. I was bringing out a Beacon 1C as well to really just pound these positions, because I tend to find, in particular with this map, which is hell in a very small place, there are a lot of predictable positions up on the top of Fox. You don't really have that much tree cover. And this shot in particular was headed after his support. So if we see, yeah, the Promises right there, they get knocked down by Cluster, and then the Beacons and the Cluster take him out. Very happy with that. And then we're going to be just trying to strip away access to all those different tools. So Beacon will reposition, retarget, and we do also have a fair amount of base defense, which I think Scandi with the NM45 does have a nice option here. 15 points for some very nice anti-helicopter work. You just have a couple of them in case one of them dies, and I don't want to have to respond that first second. But we have pulled their attention. So Mi-25s are not the cheapest. That's 120 points of helicopters right there. There's also response on the ground, and all of that is in response to a single Jaeger 90 getting through with a, I believe, yeah, the TGB-13 transport, 5-point transport. So 40 points here. For me, are pulling almost 200 points worth of units over from both Tortique and Carl Gustav, and that right now is key, because basically the way I tend to think about this, the reason I like being sneaky and doing things like this is even if I use these Jaeger 90, there's an attrition rate at the front, and in games that go well, maybe it'll favor you. In games that don't, perhaps it won't. But if you can slow down your opponent's reinforcements, even if you're taking bad engagements, so long as you can replenish, you can eventually flip those bad engagements around on their heads and make them rewarding and make them worthwhile. So smoke is going up here. At this point, I'm not attacking. I'm just trying to get my opponents to be conditioned when they see the smoke to not think that I'm attacking. Because, well, I've already messed with them by getting something around this way. Now they think I'm just messing with them by smoking up here. There's nothing actually going on, so why would they really move? And then the next time I do this, or the time after that I smoke up there, maybe they won't think of anything then either. So it's just a little bit of wishful thinking, but we do also... Did we not get a kill? Yeah, okay. No. This was really annoying. So there was a single, I believe, Factoria unit over there that gets way too many kills. But, here, if you didn't think I was serious about the NM45s, we actually get a little bit of chip damage right there. And people are going to see that, and they're going to see that they can't get out for free. It also does, even just only a little bit, increase the time that it takes for that plane to come back in. But look at this. 1, 2, 3 Snezhkas from Tortique. That's another 90 points in there. There's Specialny Jednotki, 30 points there. They've had a ton of reinforcements going into this section of Bravo, which I no longer really intend to contest, because we've had some bad wood fights. I was not really able to capitalize on this all that much. I have Fulcrum Jaeger 90 that will be going into Bravo and becoming a bit of a nuisance there, but we're just, Han and I were talking in chat, we were trying to shift our focus, and we really had hoped to use this opportunity to pin down Tortique's super heavies. And I think we got a little bit of damage there, but no kills on those two Modernas. And really shift the focus, because we needed to have a nice defense in Gulf. And if we can take the top of Fox, then we're in the clear. We need 2 zones here, not all 3. And this was... It was going to be difficult, because all of my reinforcements have to go around here, up, and through. And it's a really short lane for them to reinforce as well, which it does seem to be the risk of that sort of approach. So my Fulcrum Jaeger 90 are moving into the town now. They probably will be spotted pretty soon. But that also is good for me because it works well with the timing of the Foxtrot push. So I'm smoking up here again. You can see just trying to condition them. No response there again. No push coming in. Nothing we need to pay attention to. It's just smoke, right? And in the meantime, I have 2 STRV-1 on 3Ds. I have a 121. This is a little bit greedy. I had infantry. I had M41A1s going forward, and I didn't feel like waiting because they were moving over here because we were fighting over Tortique. On that side, I thought, maybe this was the time. So my smoke shifts just a little bit, trying to block off line of sight on some of their fire support. And you can see right now I'm pausing to consider. So all of my stuff is right here. We also have support from HanDHun coming up. If I had waited another 30 seconds, this probably would have gone a little bit better than it does. As it is, we pop up over the top, 1-2 tanks right there, 45-point tanks, but very high armor piercing, and my 121's leading the way. So the only thing that saves him is that tank had recently fired, but we take 4 points of damage. We are shooting in. That was, I believe, a command tank that does go down, so we cleared out. We start taking it +1 now, which is very nice. We're about 10 minutes in, and 53 points behind, but there's the J7H. 1,000-kilogram bomb is very big. They have a helicopter up here as well, and I'm trying to reverse down this slope. My STRVs get a little drunk, and they go the other way. So I don't really know what was up with this. We are reversing into tank fire and into HE rockets, so not really ideal there. And now we're stunned, we're panicked, we're not going to be getting effective fire on, and these guys get isolated and killed. The 121 did get out, but this is 180 points worth of tanks, so this is not cheap, and pretty much makes up for the fact that I got their command vehicle. So yeah, not thrilled about that. I don't really quite know what happened with the pathing. Sometimes I feel like there's just a pathing gremlin in this game. But the Fallskirmjäger are still alive. They have killed a couple of IFVs over on that side, and HanDHun is still holding the same forward position, which is very nice. It's going to give us vision on if they cap in golf, makes that very risky for them. It also means that they haven't made our cap in golf risky here as well. So maintaining that forward presence just as we sort of use it to squeeze this side of the map a little bit more. And looking at where the where the blue and green is on this map, you can tell we have a large front here, and it's a pretty densely packed front as well. Dragoner moving up now, boxes, Fennec Toe 2 supporting from back here. Anything that shoots will hopefully be spotted, and yeah, there's that Factoria killing a Wildcat, which not my favorite thing, but also just some artillery support. Now that cluster is from my ally, and did take out at least one tank there for me. It won't kill infantry, but it will clear out lots of armor and stun and panic even infantry. I don't know about the stun, it certainly will panic taking that sort of fire, and the smoke on this side is wonderful. These ZTSs aren't able to get their guns online all that effectively. Kustjägeri trying to sneak up and around, will be engaging here, but also engage my Moshus on that side, and these Yosjandai are very expensive to be losing like that. So I'm just backing out here because I did see the Mi-25s, I did see the bombers coming in, the plane coming in, all of that stuff, not something I want to tangle with. Rafal trades in, and that was soul-crushing, because that Rafal is such an excellent tool. And it did save a lot of my units, right? So we backed out. Pretty much everything that went up there with the Dragoner with the boxes is dead, in part because of the Mi-25s, but Wildcats, well, if left alone, can get nice fire, so that was the attempt there, and now we're just doing it again. So Stormer coming up, CV90's coming up, more reinforcements. Not already called in, because I did have a bit of a lapse there trying to just focus on the fight. So all I have right now is an automatic, calling out a bit more, but HanDHun has infantry as well. And I do still have two CV90-30Ns. Don't underestimate these guys. 6 frontal armor is crazy, and the Bushmaster 2 is very effective. So they're drawing fire, we're shooting in, but triple tank from Tortique, and not just any tank either. Those were Modernas. 1, 2, 3 of them right there. So I'm kind of curious why he drew back. Actually, if he had just stayed up there, this would be a dead tank. My smoke play wasn't on point right there, and that was a really scary amount of armor piercing. So what we're talking about right now, I believe, was my Beacon and my allies, where is it? The Mars. Because his wave is now here, the AMX 1390 is ready to lead the way, infantry behind them, and we're hoping to sort of trick the Red 4 team into putting themselves in a position to be clustered. We've seen that their response is to hang out around here, so that's where the cluster is getting called in, but the Thermomig's coming in, and that is going to be the first attempt of my NASAMs. 4 missiles, 1 hit, NASAM's out of ammunition, but we've used all 12, so that's something. And because we had nice coordination with the team, most of the stuff from HanDHun does get out of that napalm pretty well. So we have also cleared the forest on this side. Not enough to hold it, but enough to... Oh, jeez, I thought we cleared it. Yeah, well, don't mess with Lieutenant Generals, man. They know their stuff. And, yeah, so smoke coming in as well, and this looks like they're just retaking that top plateau. But right now we're ticking at a +2. There was briefly a command vehicle that popped in to right about there. You should have been able to see just a little bit of a hint of that earlier on, and they are smoking off his position as well, which kind of does give the game away just a bit. So we kind of know where that is, and my Beacon is already, once it moves, it's going to be firing on that, just trying to get a nice kill on what looked like a fragile Jeep CV. It does make it a bit tricky though if you don't kill it, because it could mean it's not a Jeep, or it could mean it's not there. Those two options can really throw things awry. I've actually targeted CVs before, and hit them and not killed them and thought, oh, well, it's not there, and gone on my merry way. So it's a little unfortunate. But LSTR here from Tortique, and these guys are really expensive. That's a squad of 70 points worth right there. SPW 80s, of course, very capable as well. With those 20% accuracy KPVTs, it does make a lot of difference. They're actually fending off Chasseur from that far away. Nice Milan team here. Gets the kill? No. Well, it's a Milan. What do you expect? Yeah. A little bit rough. Beacon shooting in once more, and we're at sort of deadlock. But now it's in our favor. So we have 113 points, they're 53. And as it stands right now, they have to, if not push us, they have to be aggressive. They have to countercap Foxtrot, they have to put something into a fragile position. And this other CV is also in a fragile position. Now, there are 3 Modernas, that's a little scary once again, and the Milan team does die before he can make contact. Looks like he's going to, unfortunate. But this is really not good for the Red 4 team, because if they can't hold this, if we can just surge, and then if we get pushed back, if we kill the CV, it's worth it. It's worth it in terms of points, it's worth it in terms of tick. And then if they go up in Foxtrot, we can attack there again, and if we can establish... I often see people avoid the plateau fight because it can get just so bloody on both sides. But if the Blue 4 team can win that, and have a presence in this forest, that's usually pretty much game over, because this is an excellent spot to fire down from into the plateau. It sort of locks down the middle of the zone. And even though it is very close to, well, an airplane reinforcement line, it's more difficult than you might think if your opponent has competent anti-air. And speaking of, my NASAMs are getting resupplied to Scanias coming up here and giving them more ammunition, and the OAT 64C is going to die. So I have more 186 NOs, I have Falcon Jaeger 90, I have more STRVs, we've healed up the 121, the 103Ds, pair up there again. I like these guys, particularly for infantry fighting vehicle busting. 15 rounds a minute is pretty amazing, and I believe it's auto-loaded. Could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it is. And you can see Han's moving in with me. So Chasseur is moving up, 1390 is moving up, big coordinated push, and we're locking down his fire support on that side once more, just to say, hey, if you're going to fight me, you're going to take 2 fights, not 1. Because we're going to make sure you can't shoot, we're going to make sure that all this stuff's going on, and yeah, actually, I mistimed it a little bit. That 3 tank column, those are the Modernas. So we saw them coming in, there was a CV up there just then, and we do take it out. J7Hs, and both of those big bombs will land, which is a little unfortunate. My Falcon Jaeger 90 right in the way of it, surviving with 6. Not exactly ideal. But we're getting a lot of high value kills. The HQ7 is 60 point, basically same as a Crotal. And we, oh, there they are. 3 Modernas right there, and a 63 too. So that's going to be the ping, and I was trying to pop up here to get a cheeky shot, and then I kind of reconsider, so we're going to stop right there in the smoke and pull back just a bit, because I don't want to get shot by Modernas, man. And also there's the cluster, so we did hit them. 1, 2, lots of damage. About half killed those tanks there. I'm not sure if any of them actually went down. Let's take a look. No. Yeah, so they're all 3 still alive. Sorry, I've had a heck of a day before this recording, so well, that's life. But anyway, we are moving up here. STRV 121 getting maybe a little bit too far ahead. A little bit of lucky dodge there as well. Liren can do a surprising amount of damage to tanks, particularly on side armor, but it is nice that we can also take out that recon. So that's done, and I should be smoking here right now, but I just wanted a cheeky shot, cheeky kill, which we do get, and taking out some of that backline support, then retreating backwards. Now, Specialny and Notki 90 do also need to die. These guys are recon. They're very, very strong, but the NMs are engaging, and I have more, and look at that. It's done. There's the kill, I want to say. Oh, no. Chasseur's got the kill. And again, a very nice position of the napalm bomb, blocking off my reinforce, but also my retreat. So we are going to be moving through that just a bit with the 121. STRV detract and napalm's not great either. So a nice use of the air tab for them, but it is going to cost them as we do get a kill there. And that's the NASAMs back down to 0 ammunition again, shooting at all of those planes as they came in, and slowly racking up a decent kill list. I encourage you guys to either skip to, take a look, check that out. It will be at the end of the video. If not, stick along for the ride, and we will show you guys the NASAMs kill list later. The double NASAMs did just such incredible work. We are at ammunition. I think that J7H was looking for my NASAMs, but didn't drop. Not entirely sure why. It can be kind of frustrating sometimes. And I would not be holding this position right now if not for HanDHun. So this is why in team games that coordination is so crucially important. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy important. Because if your opponent starts to double you and you have success, they can really turn things around. And very quickly too. On the other hand, if you can work together with your teammate, you can double something Surprisingly, right? Because they had gone in, they thought this was safe again. They had capped it with a command tank, and we turned that around in the span of a couple of heartbeats and a single thrust. So we are now going to get artillery through here. Golf is still contested, and I think that looks like prep for a push to me. There's Panzergrenade 90 up there, more Panzergrenade 90, Chesso, Martyr 2, BBL Mistral, lots of stuff up here. Just not quite moving forward. I think we really wanted to make sure that we had all of our focus on Foxtrot, which is a little bit backwards, right? Like, oh, jeez, I lost the STRVs. Oh no, those are amphibills. Huh. Well, the lost list does include all of my tanks, other than, again, that very lucky 121. Still alive. Remember, he was brought down to 1 point of strength on the left, nearly killed by Modernas in the center, and then did get out of all of those tricky situations. So, just a very charmed 121. I really like it on this map. I'm not a huge fan of Scandi in general, just because they don't have a true super heavy, and the 121 really shows that when it's against something like, I don't know, like a Vihor, so Entente. Be very challenging. But second Beacon 1C, we're firing them both now, just trying to pound into those positions, and everything here in Echo that just got spotted will get targeted as well. Right now we're going after their artillery, which I don't quite know if we kill here, but it certainly was the goal, just because that rocket artillery was brutal. Very, very brutal, nasty stuff, makes it very hard to hold a position when that sort of fire is coming in against you. But XA-180 NO is going up forward again. Now we have a pretty decent hold here. I'm splitting up my squads just to try and make sure they don't all die at once. And double OSA immediately pinged by HanDHun, so really just on the lookout for that. We're looking for where they stop. So they're still moving up, they're still moving up, they're still moving up. And yeah, at that point, I kind of had to shift my focus. So normally people will do that, they'll move a little ways. And there it is. So they're backing up into the trees right there. Probable hiding spot. That will draw fire. 0810's moving forward, and I only wish, from the Red Fort perspective, that this was something that they had done earlier on when they had the Modernas up here, when they had all those tanks up there, because a little bit of extra chaff would have made those tanks way more effective. So always remember this. When you are trying to push a position, chaff alone doesn't do it. You're going to get taken out by things with good guns, like the CV9030N. That can kill all of those transports at range and not even bat an eye. Yep, there's the two OSs gone. Very nice. But if you have something behind this with a big gun, then the CV9030N isn't safe. He's going to be distracted shooting at militia that don't matter, while as the heavy tank or super heavy tank behind it is going to be getting kills that very much do. So I'm trying to do that as well. My Kustiagri moving up. These guys are expensive. They're not chaff, but they still will draw some fire and will allow my CV9030N and the STRV to shoot, looking for that Chanmaho one shot. Second shot on the way soon, and now it doesn't matter if he front faces. He has 1 point of strength left. There it is. There's the shot. Good. Siri coming in, and I'm trying to get into the smoke. Let's see if I can do it. Missiles away. There's the kill. So my STRV does go down. Very, very sad about that. But the automatics are looking for that kill, not able to get it. This was very uncomfortable for me, because we still didn't have confirmation that we'd killed the Modernas. Could be as many as 3. I think maybe we knew it was down to 2 at this point. I'm not entirely sure. A lot of I'm not sure's for this. I usually look through... Oh, there they are. 1, 2, 3. I usually look through and make a couple of notes on the times, but I did that the other day and I lost my notes. So right as I was going to make this this replay, I did unfortunately misplace those. I do apologize, but look at this. A couple of pings, and this is interesting. There's a Kolos, or no, that's a VLKV, 30-point resupply vehicle. Right there, that means those Modernas are not moving. They're resupplying, they're trying not to engage too much, they're trying not to move too much, they're trying to stay healthy, and that is going to draw artillery. So, the fact that we could see that, the fact that we had eyes on it, makes all the difference. EGZ-88, surprisingly effective. But yeah, this smoke is to prevent any sort of other planes from being effective, it's to allow me to get infantry up here, XA-180s, just, well, 186s rather, just to sort of screen things out. They will kill Fego, it seems, decently effectively, to Browning. That was a good trade for us. And then just to try and make sure that I can really recover here before they're ready to go again. And it's a little bit dangerous. They could have taken advantage of that. That's why I had infantry forward in it. That way if they tried to sneak through it and engage me, they'd be engaging against Stormer, Jaeger 90, all of that in the smoke. Very, very dangerous situation for them. Puff does get a kill. Yeah, 27 SK is going to make me a little bit sad here, I think. Except, ooh, look at that, we got out. Very nice. Don't count on that, though. That was pure luck. Sometimes I've seen even the best air superiority fighters not land any of their missiles. And, yeah, it's just a dice roll. Sometimes you roll crit 1, right? Here comes the cluster and the Beacon. We didn't get any of the heavy tanks there, but we did certainly make them unhappy, and even just keeping that many points of super heavy tanks unhappy, not able to heal up, will keep them out of the action, and will really deny your opponent a lot of good usefulness from their units. But this was pretty scary again, and this is what's going to happen for a lot of the rest of the match. Just a consistent, determined, coordinated assault on Foxtrot. So both players here, Carl Gustav M2 and Tortique, trying to get up and into this zone. More artillery coming in, stunning everything, maybe even killing some of the stuff here. Yeah, there go the Jägeri. My automatics are panicked, they're stunned, they're basically useless. And even though these guys can kill tanks when left to their own devices, that's not happy automatic. So I'm very, very upset about all of that. Nasam's out of ammunition, round 3. Still alive, repositioning down just a little bit as the Scanias come forward. And we're down to 2 Modernists there, so I think Han's artillery did get the 3rd one. And those guys are at 2 strength and 3 strength respectively. They are not ready to fight. So we've just been denying them the ability to be comfortable for a very, very long amount of time. Automatic trying to get a kill, doesn't quite get it, and my Scania gets a little bit drunk. Need to pay my drivers better, maybe give them some non-alcoholic beverages while they're at the wheels, but you get what you pay for, I suppose. So here it is. Automatic will be providing some fire support. Very nice against armor at close ranges. Of course, is kinetic rounds, 12 AP base, which scales up very, very, very high very quickly. But more artillery, more mortars at this point, and really just nice play from the Red 4 team. Keeping everything here so unhappy, it's basically combat ineffective. Trying to get the automatic out. We are going to draw some fire, and if that Chanma Ho realizes, he should be able to get a shell on the way. No. So the automatic does survive, and that is pretty critical, because at this point I was telling Han, you know, I think I'm going to get pushed out here. I think we're going to have to go up right down the pipe round 3 to hold this, which neither one of us wanted to do. So we have gone forward and golf again. They still have a cap for a while. It's still 113.54. It's been there for a very long amount of time, and neither one of us wanted to let them get a +1 tick, because Bravo is gone. Haven't even really looked over here for a long time. Bravo is capped. We need to keep a cap here, or we need to clear golf, or both. So if we get pushed back and they cap the zone again, we're in a lot of trouble. But the beacon proved just really, really clutch here. Both of them firing in, pounding into the position in the woods, killing everything in there. A lot of it was cheap. There is some LSTR. He's trying to stay a little bit out of the way of those guns, but Wildcats do not care for that sort of shenaniganry, and those KBA-25 autocannons, oh, they make the LSTR retreat, if nothing else. Look at that, more rocket artillery, and I felt like I was fighting a plummet. I think this is the 50 or 60 point Chinese MLRS. Pretty effective. Gonna have to check that out. I've become quite a bit more of a fan of artillery lately. Not entirely sure why. And yeah, so there's an attack ping here. Again, just looking for that command vehicle. A cluster didn't kill it though, which is a little bit interesting. It could mean that it's a, well, as I said earlier, it could mean it's not there. It could mean it's infantry and doesn't take that sort of damage type. Or it could mean that we just knocked it down to 1 or 2 points of strength and it's not quite dead. So there's really no way of telling without recon forward. So Panzer Grand 90 are sneaking in. They're not recon infantry, but they are, ooh, yeah, there it is, there's the kill. So, what was that? Looks like a vehicle. Looks like empty bushes. Well, we did get a decap there. That's going to be +1 for the Blue 4 team once more, as there's still just more planes. I think this was maybe something, even as effective as those bombing runs were, that many points on the ground I think would have been really clutch for the Red 4 team earlier on. So we kept killing them too. Not a lot of those planes got out scot-free, which is why the number of bombing runs has decreased over time. It's a temporary boost, and you lose it if you don't protect it well, or if you just get unlucky, right? So you can't run planes into your opponent's AA net for forever. It just doesn't really work. Panzer 90 caught out by the Mi-17, the Zanshi 85, Motschützen moving up, and they're retaking this section of woods again. Just, oh man. Usually I play zoomed out like this. This game I think I was playing more like this, just because there's just so much going on. But there was a Salamandra from Tortique, nice answering East Rhine, already bought from HanDHun. This was not a new buy. And he does take that helicopter down, 2 missiles, 2 hits, dead Salamandra, very nice play. We did lose a couple of the NM45s, that's why we had them out in such a wide screen. It let us know that that guy was there, and that we had to deal with that situation. Further, now, we have 1, 2 Modernas sitting on the road, or no, are those Modernas? Yeah, those are, I believe, the 2 Modernas from Tortique sitting on the road. Mars is going to be called in on that, except it does take a little while to load. So we had to keep him there, we had to get him... Oh, no, T-72Ss. Apologize, guys. I'm doing my best. Those are the Modernas in the back. This is the T-72Ss, and there's going to be cluster called right on that position, because it seems to be where Tortique likes to retreat to prior. Double misses off the peace shrine, by the way. Always bad. But that's a lot of tanks. That's just a ton of tanks. And all I have up here is some Krustjägeri that are panicked, a couple of Wildcats, some Dragoner, not a lot of stuff, and here comes the artillery that we're kind of expecting to come in right before the assault. So we can see this is going to stun everything, and then I thought anyway that would be the signal for the tanks to advance. It does look like they're coming up, maybe a little bit of an unexpected route. Oh, seems to be some general confusion. Oh, there they go. Yeah, there they go. And Dragoner can't really deal with that. The reason I'm moving them up is to distract. So I want them killing cheaper stuff that doesn't matter as much while we try and figure out a way to deal with the situation. And one of the ways to deal with that is Jäger 90 over on this side. They do have Erix's. And if I can get clear line of sight here, and we can get side shots in these T-72Ss, that's a single shot, a single kill on that side armor, I do believe. Yeah, 8 side armor. That'd be 1 shot, 1 kill. But two T-72Ss, 2 Modernas. The Moderna's backing out, nice cautious play. As I brought in an MLU, we get one of the T-72Ss, and we get a lot of damage on those remaining 2 Modernas, plus the cluster there to scare them away. 1 more kill on the peace shrine. Down to 1 now for Tortique. A little bit of a visual bug there, I believe. No. Jeez. I'm 0 for... Yeah, okay, it was a visual bug. If you have less than perfect recon, sometimes it'll still say that there are 2 vehicles, even if you saw one explode like we did. So, we took out a T-72S, we took it out of Moderna. That's going to be a costly maneuver there from the Red 4 team, and if they had chaff up in front of it, that might have gone a little differently. Now, of course, the Jäger 90 are a little bit wasting their Erix's on 5-point transports, but you still do need to clear those out, and Zalaznichi will not survive for very long. The issue is, they can see my Jäger 90, so that's going to be, yep, there's the mortar shells. That's going to be a lot of free damage. I really need to get these guys moving. Some of the players I've seen at the higher end will just never let their infantry sit in an engagement where they can win just the primary. And Jäger 90 versus Zalaznichi is one of those situations. So, Puff coming in does not get a kill. We do see their anti-air, and the Jäger are able to push this stuff back. Plus, the Modernas and all these tanks are sitting right there in the woods. That's a known position. It's a static position. Known static positions are bad for you and good for your opponent, so we're hoping to make use of that. As the game does draw to a bit of a conclusion, so they're moving stuff up on the left now again, trying to do everything they can to win this game, and we're going to speed it up just a bit before these last couple of engagements here. Dragoner moving forward, just making sure that he's still right there in the back, and he is. They probably have more resupply across the river. MLU unfortunately loses sight and minimum turning radius on those missiles. I get nothing with that MLU. Very upsetting there indeed. Neva SC on the way, and I kind of wish my Puff had been lagging a bit farther behind. We do get a nice bomb in there. It doesn't kill the Moderna, but there's the Puff, there's the Neva, there's the kill, and the Puff is going to get out. You can't always rely on that. We did get stunned. I think it's just by virtue of the Neva not moving that the Puff's still connected, because I believe that's a semi... No, fire... Yeah, no, it is... fire and forget. Look at that. Fair enough. Even if it's stunned, that will still make contact. Jäger dealing with Zalaznichi here, and at this point the game is pretty much in the bag, I want to say. With 6 minutes left, they would have to go to a +2 to win. And that, I mean, nearly on the edge of a +3. That seems pretty unlikely. They have Bravo, they need to either attack Charlie, which is possible with some decks, particularly ones that are capable at being amphibious on this position. They can just go right across the water here. But otherwise, they have to push us entirely out of Fox and countercap Gulf, or entirely out of Gulf and countercap Fox, and neither one of those seem to be all that likely at the time. Now, I do have one really goofy situation here before the end of the game that I want to show you guys with the NASAMs. Just something, an engagement I did not think they would win, and they do, and it's great, and it had me laughing at the time. Just one of those, that's just a Wargame moment where you think you have the counter for something, and because of various intricacies in the individual units and the position on the board, you don't. So keep an eye on these guys. I'll point it out as well here in just a minute. And for lack of better targets, we're just shooting stuff in. Q5D is taken out there. They were trying to bomb, I believe, either my artillery or my allies, and I did lose a beacon. So it had been a little while. I hadn't really moved them that much. The fobs are both empty. The beacon's basically useless, as I have used all of my Scanias resupplying my NASAMs. Did I take... Yeah, no. I should really take double fob for this, probably. And this was a little goofy as well. So there's a helicopter here. It looks like a bit of a HanDHun, probably 90 points, 80 points for that. Fighting Falcon goes in, drops the bomb, gets taken out, and we get the helicopter. So, worth it? No. Worth it at this point? Possibly. If you're a dominant on board position, dominant on conquest points in the last couple minutes of the game, taking a couple of maybe not so great engagements just to make sure that you don't lose that unexpectedly is... it's not the best thing, it's not the worst thing either. So we're going to speed up here just a bit, keep an eye on those NASAMs again, as we should be. I mean, we have only 2 minutes left in the game as a whole, so it has to be sometime soon. And T-72K1, not sure where he was trying to go. Possibly golf, but I don't know why he was over there to begin with. I would have taken the route through here, more than likely. The way you do that, by the way, is I would call in reinforcements over to Echo from Alpha. Make sure they take that road instead of this one, especially when your opponent has eyes on here. And yeah, this is it. So the Salamandra is... it's a recon helicopter, 2,800 meter range, 22 AP. The NASAMs, 2,800 meter range, right? So they both match. My NASAMs are blind, the Salamandra is not. But we do both spot each other. And missile speed is not something shown on the unit card. So let's see which one of these is faster. As I take the NASAMs, and let's engage. Tortique moving up as well. Salamandra's firing, NASAM's firing. Salamandra fired first, right? And there it is. Kaboom. 2 of them gone. Salamandra is not fire and forget, so those missiles missed, and the NASAMs is alive. Oh, goofy. Just really goofy stuff. So that's going to be wrapping up a really long, really good fight with Tortique and Carl Gustav M2, and of course hats off to my ally HanDHun for holding this zone the entire time against a really dedicated set of opponents. So at this point we get a couple of kills for free, basically peace rhines, MLUs, sniping some of those super heavies, a last desperation push from the Red 4 team, and Napa does get revenge off, but we'll have the kills and losses for you guys here in just a second. Alright, so that's it. 6,365 kills, 5,500 losses, and I lost so much stuff that game, it was incredible. 3,550 points of losses, 4,565 points of kills. It was worth it. Every single penny of those losses was worthwhile. A couple of mistakes, of course, and units lost for no reason. And here are the NASAMs. First one, J7H, Thermomig, Q5D, J7H, Salamandra, and of course an MI1 and an MI17. Very happy with that. Solid performance from the NASAMs. And let's see, oh, Beacon did very well. Yeah, look at that. Pretty nice. And the second NASAMs, 2 more J7Hs, and a second Thermomig. So these 2 NASAMs just peeled apart the enemy air tab, basically on their own. A couple of nice kills as well from the air superiority fighters from HanDHun. So that's going to be our game today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you again real soon.